over in the previous video. It's the better way that I would like to do this, so I'm going to link that, the first link there. I'm going to explain everything there, so go watch that one before you watch this one, because this way is more of just another way of thinking about things. So we've done over previous problems, and we've done them quite well, to the best that I know how to explain them and do them. Now, there is another way to do most of these, and that's instead of modifying our current array list that we pass in, it's by making a new array list. And for this one specifically, all we have to do is make a new array list. We can add instead of removing things, right? Whatever we want to keep, we want to put it into our new array list. And then we can clear our array list and then set it equal to the one that we want to return, which is this list. And that's pretty much it. Now return or update. We're going to want to update this by setting equal to our new array list. So let's start this off. We want to make our new array list. It's going to be of type string, and we'll call it list2, and we'll set it equal to a new array list. This is pretty standard. This is just how you make a simple array list. Now we want a for loop, and it's going to be very similar to the last one. We want to run it not half of our list though. We want to run it for the full length of our list. So we're going to start at 1 again and run it as long as a is less than list.size. And we'll do a++. And then after this, we are going to have our check. So this is very similar so far, but a little bit different. So for this one, we want to add whatever we are not removing. So if, just like last time, we type in list.get, where we pass in a-1, and then we get the length of it, right? This is the 0th index if we're looking at 0 and 1. And then we have our list.get at a.length here. We're comparing these two. Now, what do we want to do here? Well, we want to savor the one that is larger, right? And the larger of that's going to go in this if statement is going to be kind of the opposite of what we did last time. It's going to be a-1. This one is going to be like 4, right? We don't want to store score if it is smaller. Now, because we want to keep the larger one, right? If it is bigger though, we're going to fall into an else statement. So in this else statement, and we'll do that before we code out this if statement, inside of this else statement, we're just going to do list2.add, and then we're going to do list.get, where we pass in our a, right? Because that's the big one that we want. We want, and like it says right here, if they're equal, we should remove the first string in the pair. So that's going to be handled all by this else statement. But in this if statement, if this is bigger, this a-1 is bigger, well, we're just going to do list2.add, where we pass in our list.get, and then a-1. So it's a little bit confusing, but in a way it's opposite of what we did last time. So that's going to be our if and our else. Now, when we're done with this for loop, we're still going to have, if there is an odd number, we're still going to have something else that we haven't done yet. So we have to take care of this. If it's an odd number, so if list.size modulus 2, we're checking if there's a remainder, is not equal to 0, we're going to do list2.add, where we add in the list.get, and we want the last thing, so list.size minus 1. And that is going to essentially be a index that we pass in. Because remember, size is 1 greater than the index number. After this, we can do list.clear, so we have an empty array list. And then we're just going to set list to our list2. And we do this by doing list.add all. We pass in our list2. And that's pretty much it, if I can spell it correctly. We'll end this. We don't need parentheses for that, just for that. And we'll press submit and see if we did that correctly. So again, this is just another way of thinking about it, and we didn't do it correctly. Let's see. We have this happening twice instead of just once. So what we're going to want to do is, instead of doing a++, I made a mistake. Previous one, we did a++. But for this one, what we're going to want to do is, remember, since we are comparing these two and only adding 1, then we need to move to the next two. Since we're not removing anything, we can't just go 1 up, we have to go 2 up, since the list is keeping all of the elements until we clear it. And that will pass 5 out of 5 test. So this one's a little bit different, But essentially all we're doing is we're adding the ones we want to keep into our list 2 and then setting our list 2 to our list. And that's all for the another way of thinking about 10.14, which is remove shorter strings.